Collecting data has never been this much fun. After thousands of years, scientists have discovered what they believe to be the tomb of Moses. This raises questions about his burial. If Moses was historical, where was he laid to rest? According to biblical tradition, he died on Mount Nebo, and the mystery of his hidden burial site has puzzled people for centuries. At this site, we have the tomb of Moses. When scientists stumbled upon this 2,000-year-old tomb, many were overcome with emotion at the sealed burial. But what secrets lie within, untouched for millennia? Join us as we explore this extraordinary discovery and its significance. Led by Josh Gates, the scientists were deeply moved by the announcement of this untouched tomb. Understanding why requires us to look back at Moses' remarkable life. A key figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, Moses was born in ancient Egypt during a time when Pharaoh ordered the death of Hebrew boys. To save him, his mother placed him in a basket on the Nile, where Pharaoh's daughter found and adopted him. Despite his royal upbringing, Moses never forgot his roots. At 40, he killed an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave and fled to Midian, where he lived for 40 years as a shepherd. His life changed dramatically when he encountered a burning bush on Mount Horeb, Mount Sinai, where God commanded him to return to Egypt and free the Israelites from slavery. Moses returned to Egypt and, with his brother Aaron, demanded Pharaoh release the Israelites. When Pharaoh refused, God sent 10 plagues, including turning the Nile into blood, swarms of locusts, and darkness. The final plague, which resulted in the death of every firstborn son, including Pharaoh's, convinced him to let the Israelites go. Before this plague, Moses instructed the Israelites to mark their doorposts with lamb's blood, protecting them from the angel of death. This act of faith established Passover, a central Jewish tradition. After the death of Pharaoh's son, around 1250 BC, the Exodus began. Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, but Pharaoh soon regretted his decision and pursued them. Trapped between the Red Sea and the Egyptian army, Moses stretched out his hand, parting the waters to create an escape route. As the Israelites crossed, the sea closed over Pharaoh's forces, securing their freedom. Moses then guided the Israelites through the desert, facing challenges and hardships. At Mount Sinai, God gave him the 10 Commandments, foundational to Jewish law. Despite witnessing miracles, such as manna from heaven and water from a rock, the Israelites struggled with faith, resulting in 40 years of wandering. As their journey neared its end, Moses was allowed to view the promised land from Mount Nebo, but due to a previous act of disobedience, he was denied entry. This backstory deepens the mystery surrounding his hidden burial site. So, let's look at how the tomb was discovered. According to the Bible, Moses died on Mount Nebo, and God buried him in a secret place around 1271 BC. The mystery of Moses' burial has intrigued people for centuries because of his importance, as we have already discussed. And if a reader of the first 4 books of the Torah still has any doubts about Moses' paramount importance to Israel's history, the book of Deuteronomy makes it undeniably clear. Now, fast forward to the present, Josh Gates and his team may have discovered Moses' long-lost tomb. One site of particular interest is Nabi Musa, nestled in the Judean desert near the Dead Sea. For centuries, this site has held religious significance, especially in Islamic tradition, where Moses, known as Musa in Arabic, is revered as a prophet. Muslims believe Nabi Musa to be his final resting place. The site has deep connections to Moses, who is mentioned more times in the Quran than any other prophet. His story in Islam shares many similarities with the biblical account: his birth, his escape from Pharaoh's decree, and his role in leading the Israelites out of Egypt. You shall see hail fall from a clear sky and burn as fire upon the ground. The Nabi Musa site became a place of religious importance around 1269 AD, and ever since, it has been associated with Moses' final chapter in Islamic tradition. Then, in the distance, you see Nabi Musa. Nabi Musa is a mosque, which is 700 years old. It's kind of fortified to keep intruders from coming in. The connection between this sacred site and the biblical Moses continues to captivate scholars and believers alike. During the Mamluk Sultanate, Sultan Baybars established the shrine and mosque at Nabi Musa to honor the prophet Moses. This act was more than just a sign of respect, it cemented the site's importance in Islamic tradition. The construction of the shrine initiated a centuries-old pilgrimage tradition, a practice that continues to this day. One of the most significant events tied to the site is the annual Nabi Musa festival, a pilgrimage from Jerusalem to the shrine. The festival is traditionally linked to the celebration of Laylat al-Miraj, commemorating the Prophet Muhammad's night journey and ascension to heaven. This vibrant festival demonstrates the lasting legacy of Moses in Islamic thought, as pilgrims honor his life by visiting this sacred place. Nabi Musa is not just a historical site, as we can see, but a physical and spiritual link to the story of Moses. Architecturally, it reflects the medieval Islamic style, featuring a mosque, shrine, and accommodations for pilgrims, all preserved and restored over the centuries. The shrine itself is simple but majestic, offering a quiet space for reflection amid the stark desert landscape, which only adds to its mystical aura. Nabi Musa is traditionally considered the resting place of Moses in Islamic tradition, but the question of whether it is truly his final resting place remains debated. Other locations, such as Jebel Harun near Petra in modern-day Jordan, also claim to hold the honor. Jebel Harun, or Aaron's mountain, is believed to be the burial site of Moses' brother, Aaron, but some suggest that Moses himself could be buried nearby. This makes the mountain a significant religious site for Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. Jebel Harun rises 4,500 feet above sea level and has drawn pilgrims for centuries. At its summit, a modest yet sacred 14th-century white-domed mosque marks the believed resting place of Aaron. This mosque, although simple, is a powerful symbol of the spiritual connection tied to the area. Jewish tradition identifies Jebel Harun as Mount Hor, the site of Aaron's death, as recorded in the Torah. The historian Josephus in the 1st century AD also associated the mountain with Aaron's death, a belief later adopted by Christians who built a Byzantine monastery on the site, establishing it as a destination for pilgrims. In Islamic tradition, Aaron, known as Harun, is revered as a prophet who supported his brother Moses in leading the Israelites. The mosque built during the Mamluk period in the 14th century stands as a testament to its significance for Muslims. While the Christian monastery that once stood on the site is now in ruins, it adds to the mountain's rich historical and spiritual legacy. This blend of religious traditions tied to Jebel Harun shows how deeply the site is intertwined with the legacy of both Aaron and Moses, making it a place of profound importance across faiths. Whether Moses himself is buried nearby remains an open question, but the spiritual weight of the location remains undeniable. Mount Nebo, a significant location often associated with Moses, holds a special place in biblical history and religious tradition. Located in Jordan, this mountain, rising about 2,300 feet above sea level, is believed to be where Moses viewed the Promised Land before his death. The Bible, particularly the book of Deuteronomy, tells us that although Moses was granted a glimpse of Canaan, he was not allowed to enter it, and his burial site remains a mystery. The panoramic views from Mount Nebo, overlooking the Jordan River Valley, the West Bank, and, on clear days, even the city of Jerusalem, provide a sense of the landscape that Moses might have seen during his final moments. Mount Nebo has long been a destination for pilgrims, with a deep religious and historical significance. The ancient town of Nebo, located nearby, further enriches the mountain's sacred legacy. In the 4th century, a Christian church was built at the summit to commemorate Moses, and it was expanded in the 6th century, reflecting the site's importance over time. Beneath the church's mosaic floor are 6 tombs carved into the rock, adding an element of mystery to the site. In modern times, Mount Nebo continues to be a spiritual and symbolic place. Pope John Paul II visited the summit in 2000, planting an olive tree next to the Byzantine chapel as a symbol of peace. 9 years later, Pope Benedict XVI also visited, reflecting on the biblical significance of the site. The serpentine cross sculpture created by Gian Paolo Fantoni is another striking feature of the site, blending the symbolism of the bronze serpent invoked by Moses and the cross of Jesus. Mount Nebo's significance extends beyond its biblical connection to Moses. According to the second book of Maccabees, the prophet Jeremiah is said to have hidden the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant in a cave on the mountain. This has fueled centuries of speculation about hidden treasures still buried there. While amateur archaeologist Ron Wyatt claimed to have found evidence supporting this theory, the mystery surrounding Moses' exact burial site remains. Mount Nebo, while widely regarded as Moses' final resting place, has inspired explorers like Josh Gates to search for alternative sites. The intrigue surrounding the possible location of Moses' tomb continues to captivate the imagination, blending history, faith, and mystery. One area that caught Gates's attention was the Sea of Galilee, a region steeped in biblical history. In 2018, Gates and his team set out on an expedition, meticulously planning to search for underwater sites or hidden structures around the Sea of Galilee, hoping to find clues to the long-lost tomb of Moses. With the latest technology at their disposal, Josh Gates and his team were prepared to explore the depths of the Sea of Galilee and its surrounding terrain in their quest to uncover the long-lost tomb of Moses. Josh Gates and his team embarked on an extraordinary expedition to uncover potential clues about Moses' final resting place, focusing on the Sea of Galilee. Their first tool was satellite imagery, which gave them a bird's-eye view of the terrain and helped pinpoint areas that aligned with descriptions from ancient texts. They used this technology to gain a detailed understanding of the region before beginning their physical search. Advanced mapping software allowed them to create precise maps to guide their expedition. As they ventured into the field, Josh used ground-penetrating radar, GPR, a non-invasive tool that sends radar pulses into the ground and detects subsurface objects, enabling them to see beneath the earth without disturbing the terrain. To further their investigation, drones equipped with high-resolution cameras provided aerial views of the landscape, capturing images of hard-to-reach places like cliffs and steep areas, offering new perspectives. They also employed 3D scanning technology to create detailed models of their discoveries, facilitating further analysis and sharing with the public. However, the most significant discovery came in October 2018 when the team uncovered an ancient circular stone monument submerged beneath the Sea of Galilee. The structure, made of basalt rocks, measured 230 feet in diameter and rose 32 feet from the lake bed. Such structures, known as cairns, are often linked to ancient burial practices, hinting that this site could be part of forgotten rituals. The cairn's massive size and underwater location made it a compelling piece of evidence in their search for Moses' tomb. As the team continued their excavation of the submerged site, the possibility that this structure could be linked to Moses grew stronger. The monument's deliberate construction, combined with its association with ancient burial customs, suggested it marked the tomb of a significant figure, possibly even Moses himself. The challenges of excavation, including poor visibility, strong currents, and the lake's depth, made the work difficult. But each stone uncovered brought them closer to solving the mystery. Their persistence paid off when they found a hidden chamber beneath the mound of stones. Inside lay an ancient tomb, undisturbed for thousands of years. The tomb was built with precision, using large stone blocks that had survived the test of time. Inside, the team discovered a simple coffin, far less ornate than expected, indicating that preservation, rather than grandeur, was the primary focus. Artifacts found at the site, such as pottery shards and ancient tools, were carbon dated to around 3,200 years ago, aligning with the era in which Moses is believed to have lived. This discovery added significant weight to the theory that the cairn might indeed be connected to Moses' tomb. The mystery surrounding Moses' hidden burial place has intrigued scholars and believers for centuries, and the discovery by Josh Gates and his team brought a fresh perspective to this age-old question. As they uncovered an ancient submerged structure beneath the Sea of Galilee, they began to entertain the possibility that this could be Moses' long-lost tomb. When they finally opened the tomb, they were stunned to find remarkably well-preserved remains wrapped in linen, creating a compelling case that they had uncovered something significant. However, the simplicity of the burial, no lavish treasures, just a silent body, suggested a leader of great significance, and Gates even speculated that they may have found Moses' tomb. Yet, centuries of tradition and religious texts suggest that Moses' burial was intentionally hidden by God, sparking many interpretations about why this choice was made. One key explanation, offered by medieval Jewish philosopher Rabbi Levi ben Gershom, Ralbag, proposes that had Moses' burial site been known, it might have led to deification by future generations. Moses' incredible legacy, filled with miracles like parting the Red Sea and leading the Israelites out of Egypt, could have led people to idolize him, turning his grave into a site of worship. Ralbag's theory points to the example of the copper serpent crafted by Moses, which initially served a noble purpose but later became an object of idolatry. Moses himself warned against idolatry in Deuteronomy, cautioning the Israelites to avoid worshipping any human figure or image. His own life was meant to serve as a reminder of human mortality, despite his extraordinary abilities. By hiding Moses' tomb, God ensured that his legacy would remain rooted in his humanity, reinforcing the message that no leader, however great, should be worshipped as divine. The idea of keeping Moses' tomb hidden also ties into the larger biblical theme that all human leaders, no matter how powerful, remain mortal, and worship is reserved for God alone. Moses' legacy, as Israel's greatest prophet, remains untarnished by idol worship due to this divine safeguard. His burial place, shrouded in mystery, emphasizes that while Moses was an extraordinary figure, he was ultimately human. Would hiding the burial place of such a powerful leader make sense to you? This fascinating exploration into Moses' hidden tomb invites us to consider the balance between reverence and the dangers of idolization. What do you think?